Yo, what is good? My quick crypto family and coin factory family, we're back again with your Casper crypto live stream, and we have got some very interesting news once again for today's stream. We got some massive smart contract updates. As you may have saw from the preview, I have just been trying to go through the Ankit XXIM podcast with Casper. I've only managed to make it halfway through, so I haven't got all the information from this, but I have got some key updates from Casper, some answered questions, which is reassuring, which is good. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Before we do though, we'll be going through the release of the Yellowpaper for Vprogs. For those who are not sure what a Yellowpaper is effectively a white paper, but more technical. So the same way you see a white paper that lets you know what the project's doing, the yellow paper is the technical, more mathematic version of a white paper that's now been released just earlier today, which is reassuring stuff. We'll go through this in a very short moment as well. And then also some other Casper updates. Igra Labs seems to be cooking quite a lot, and other important announcements today. If you enjoy the content, of course, family, I'll be doing this now every day again. Leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. And I mean, looking at Casper right now, we're currently up 1.8% on the daily time frame, valued at 8.4 cents. Considering what's, currently building up in the crypto space and Casper community, I'm talking confirmation of stablecoins coming to Casper now, and equally a new stablecoin coming to Casper from the looks of things, and seemingly a native Casper stablecoin of sorts from Igra Labs' team we've seen. With tier 1s or other exchange listings now coming to Casper as well, courtesy of the KEF, and now also Vprogs being announced. We are seeing a lot more developments. Today has been a very informative day, which I'm sure will, in due time, correlate to the FOMO and the price action that we have been waiting for. I think the last quarter, Q4, is going to be a very volatile time for crypto, and I think Casper will be a very strong performer in this period of time. Not financial advice, of course, do your own research. That being said though, family, welcome back again to the stream. Mr. Marv, I did see that you were first today. So yeah, by all means, for the first time in a long time, we can all kiss his Cass. Indeed. Welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. You definitely did nail it. And welcome back, Zar, as well. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. Yeah, I did see you talking about I should invest into SUI, which I did. And I did announce that when I did. I invested into SUI back here. I announced it way back here. I invested into SUI. So, I made my gains in SUI already. I'm still up in SUI. I did take profits in SUI as well. But my bag is still biggest in Casper for my conviction, and reason being that I think Casper is the strongest asset and safest asset in this space that is decentralized. And that's been my main reason for getting into Casper, because decentralization is something that nothing else in this space truly has. But I mean, again, if you watch me for a while, you know that I also advocate for holding other assets if you feel that you have done your research and should do, because you can make money elsewhere. But it's up for you at the end of the day. Welcome back, Wing Hong, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. We moon yet? Not yet, but it looks like things are starting to turn for the better now. Turn better now. It's looking quite, looking reassuring. The markets, a bit of green today, all well and good. Again, Casper at 1.8% right now on the daily time frame. We'll get through the small amount of fundamental news, the macro news that is reassuring as well. Again, I already covered to my VIPs as well, and I gave a very detailed rundown of what I expect to happen in the next few months from here. So you want to find out my whole thought process and based on, technical factors and whatnot, then check out my VIP. You can join for 3-4-7 days. To give a watered down version, we can see here the CPI inflation did rise. It did rise from last month, but they were in line with expectations. And similarly with the core CPI as well, both measurements, both reports did rise, but they are in line with expectations. Therefore, inflation is not spiraling out of control, which therefore just solidifies the possibility we'll be seeing rate cuts in 6 days' time now, on the 17th of September. What it means for after that, again, check out my VIP and you can see what I said. 7-day free trial, links down below in the description, and also on my homepage here as well, wop.com/coin factory. Other big fundamental news here as well, we've got apparently Hong Kong Central Bank plans to ease capital rules for banks holding crypto, and reinforcing the city's push to become a global crypto hub. So even China now are getting more actively involved in trying to become a big holder and, again, global hub, if you will, for crypto, which is great for crypto adoption. And equally, BlackRock's now seeking to tokenize ETFs after Bitcoin fund breakthrough. So we're seeing tokenization and adoption of crypto from massive institutions and, all over the place starting to accelerate faster and faster, which is reassuring and again could correlate into the potential extended cycle. If these developments start taking shape sooner rather than later, as we are now going seemingly into a re-accelerating economy, then we could see a lot of very bullish developments, but it does depend on the macro news. And we'll keep a close eye on that, of course, and be talking about it in these streams. We're getting to the Casper news now, because that has been pretty much all of the fundamental news for today's stream. We didn't have a lot of fundamental news today's stream, but we had a lot of Casper updates to get into. We'll get into, again, in a very, very short moment. Welcome back, Ziad, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, my man. We should sell Casper for SUI. I mean, you do as you will. I personally have not sold any Casper at all. The most I've done is sold some of my other holdings to buy Casper and then buy some KRC20 memes like Nacho. But other than that, I have not sold any of my Casper. SUI is quite a decent asset. It's one that's being spoken about more and more. And it's one that I think will do well. It's already done very well. I think it can still do much better this cycle as well. The whole reason why I don't preach too much on pretty much any other... The reason why my channel is predominantly a Casper-dominated channel, while I do hold other assets, and I believe other assets will do very well, hence why I hold them and talk about them occasionally, even like Zebec, for example. We talk about Zebec a little bit here and there as well. I think this is also an asset that could do very well this cycle, and it's a micro cap or a very small asset, a $400 billion market cap, not billion, sorry, $1 million market cap. Casper for me takes my conviction strongest because it is decentralized and a fair launch project. Therefore, we've seen what happened with Mantra, we saw what happened with Luna, and there are many, many other projects that with these regulations coming out, they will not adhere to regulations or they won't be able to compete with the other projects. Therefore, because they're centralized, the CEOs and founders and insiders, they'll just take all the capital away. We're going to see a crypto cunning, and Casper, by design, will survive that because it is not centralized. But that's at least my personal belief. Welcome back, Brett, bro. I hope you're doing very, very well. And I mean, Zara's a troll, but as long as he's not spamming the chat and ruining my possibility of answering questions, then that's fine. You can have at it, if you will. And I don't do price prediction anymore. You know I don't. I still think I could do very, very well from here, though. SUI is the team who for Facebook Libra project that made their own Move language and came with a rebrand of SUI. I mean, yeah, SUI, again, it has got a lot of... If SUI was not centralized, then I'd be more into SUI. But SUI is centralized, and that's, again, just my concern. That's my wholehearted concern. And you've got people like Raoul Pal. Do I mean Raoul Pal? I do mean, yeah, Raoul Pal. One of the most notorious names in the crypto space, but he also is a massive VC for SUI. And, while I have respect for Raoul Pal and he knows what he's talking about, he's also someone who, while being paid to talk about SUI as he was done, he would end up, taking profits as well, and then effectively using people as extra liquidity. So, it's just, Casper is, while SUI is a good project, and I don't think it's a bad project at all, VC back does help its price rally faster as it has done, but with it being VC back, you're ultimately taking a bigger risk because these VCs and insiders can, at a moment's notice, just take everything out and use extra liquidity. Casper has a significantly lower chance of that happening because it's fair launch, and you can see when you look at the Casper wallets, it's a lot more decentralized. Pretty much every other project in the space, the top 100 wallets, however, have over 50% of the supply. Casper's not that. Any more questions real quickly? Trying to get through them right now. I've seen a lot of questions right now. Nathan, welcome back, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. Just quickly see if I missed any significant questions. I don't think I did. I'm saying that's part of the problem. Casper's time is almost upon us. SUI will eat dust. I think Casper's time is almost upon us, definitely. And have we broken the downtrend? There's no confirmation yet. We have managed to surpass and looks like held 8 cents. And with the rate cut seemingly coming in less than a week's time now, and with Casper big developments also on the horizon, I like to believe that the momentum will start shifting for Casper and we'll start seeing tailwinds upwards. But again, it's really, really tough to determine. You can look at it this way. If you look at, like, similarly, you saw here, you saw a massive liquidation happening on this day before it then reversed at 6.5. You saw similarly the biggest long liquidation event in history for Casper, at least in history, which happened here, Casper going back down to about 7.2, 7.3 cents. So that might have just been, again, another big long liquidation, a bigger long squeeze, and now it's time to make that rally back up again. So it's a possibility. Got to keep a close eye on it until we surpass 9 cents again. It's been, or even more so, until we surpass 10 cents. We've not surpassed 10 cents since July. If we surpass 10 cents, then I like to believe that we're in a next leg up. I think we need to pass 10 cents for that to be confirmed, though. But I think Casper's got some tailwinds behind it right now, which is really, really good. And yeah. Welcome back, LB, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. And I'm always first. I know you are, Mr. Miles. I know you are. SUI is trash. Everyone's in touch with their own beliefs, you know. Until 15 cents, we still down. I would say until 10 cents, because 10 cents is a critical zone. But again, we'll have to wait and see. So when is smart contracts going live? It's a great question, John. We do have a bit more clarity, which was provided in this interview here for Casper Door and Ankit, which I'll get to probably near the end of the stream, because I want to go talk about the Vprogs first. To give a kind of an answer about it right now, there's still no definitive date. There are tentative dates, which just means that it can change. But right now, they're very confident it'll be sometime this month. So, you know, look out for that, I guess. And thank you very much, George. I appreciate it very, very much. What's your accent? It's a good radio voice, to be honest. I'm from England, Britain, the United Kingdom. And I appreciate that. It's a very flattering compliment. I thank you very much for that. And I'll keep doing as I do, trying to bring the content, good or bad, FOMO or FUD, about crypto and Casper to the community. Casper is more than 100% faster than SUI and cheaper to transact on, while staying way more secure. I mean, again, I'm sure that'll come to light very, very soon. I love you, Quick Crypto. Thank you very much, Zara. You top G. I appreciate it very, very much. And yes, we did see that recently as well. Actually, that's one of the posts I'm going to get into later on as well. That courtesy of the KF, it seems that Casper is now available on Whitebit, which apparently, and I say apparently, it's one of Europe's largest crypto exchanges. I say apparently because I've never actually heard of Whitebit before today. I'm being perfectly frank. I never heard of Whitebit, never used Whitebit, but you know, apparently having 8 million users worldwide is quite significant. So I mean, that's great for Casper of now being launched on is now actually coming to Whitebit. It's fantastic stuff. We'll hopefully see many, many more lists. We did see yesterday Johnny talk about potentially seeing HTX, which is the previous Huobi Global, or even Crypto.com, or both of those two exchanges launching Casper in the near future as well, which is fantastic stuff. So the listings are now coming back to Casper. Hopefully Binance will follow in suit soon enough as well. Crypto wallets are being banned inside China. I mean, again, I understand your people not liking. Again, I'm not going to talk about the whole political thing. I'm simply just highlighting this post here, which is seemingly China getting more involved into crypto. I know crypto is still very much not accepted in China right now. I do have contacts in China that have told me that they still struggle with crypto and stuff like that, but it's seemingly becoming more accepted, and it's inevitable it's going to have to be, because crypto is becoming this new financial infrastructure. If they don't accept crypto, they're going to be left in the old financial age where everyone else is trying to evolve right now. When smart contract date, sometime this month we're hearing, Michael, right now, but no one knows. Again, it's still a tentative date. Thanks for your information about SUI, but it has big pre-allocation. That's precisely the point. I mean, SUI, I don't think it's a bad project, but it has got a lot of pre-allocation, a lot of VC insiders, people who are, you know, got a lot of capital in it, and they already made a stupid amount of money, and therefore there's always a risk that they could just dump on you and use you as a liquidity. That's the risk of getting into any centralized project, be it SUI, be it XRP, be it Algorand, whatever it may be. I mean, all these projects, like, you know, I think Algorand and HBAR are two very, very good undervalued projects, but I do understand that they're centralized, and also therefore there is a risk that these insiders and the central and the team behind it, the devs behind it, whatever, they can just take it all from you, and that is a risk that you have to be willing to take effectively. Tokenomics on SUI are as bad as XRP. It's a scam. You've been warned. Again, everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. I don't disagree with the sentiment. I don't disagree with it. But it's up to you whether you want to take the risk of trying to invest into it and make some get healthy before you get rugged, if it is a thing that will happen, or not, you know. Do people really use smart contracts? Well, yes. It's kind of how anything that's executed or built on chain is done through smart contracts. You kind of need smart contracts to build anything. Whitebit, I think, is one of the official sponsors of Barcelona and Juventus. Oh, wow. Okay, well, don't know how I've not heard about them. I mean, that's good again. I know that BYDFI, the affiliate exchange that I'm working with, they recently got a partnership deal with Newcastle United in the UK, which is, you know, quite big for them. Newcastle's actually a very, very big company, a very big football club now after, I think I had a new owner that took over a few years back. So that's very, very big for BYDFI. You guys look at Robinhood meme coins, low market caps. Moodeng, Popcat, Dog with a Hat. I mean, I know all of those. I'm not sure how well they're going to perform now. Those were big meme coins during the meme bubble that happened in 2024. Will they recover? It's tough to say. What Casper needs is something to pump like Ondu. I mean, Casper has catalysts coming up, so we'll see that come through very, very soon. What's the cheapest crypto to use? I mean, as it stands right now, I think arguably it's Casper. But it's not widely adopted to where you can use it everywhere yet. I think the most common chain people use right now would be an Ethereum chain. But unfortunately, Ethereum is very, very expensive. Anyways, now getting all the questions and stuff out of the way, finally, let's get into the sources now. So we've already gone through the macro and fundamental news about how the inflation report came out, which again confirms rate cuts are going to be coming next week pretty much, and could be very, very big going towards the end of the year as well. A lot of big, momentum going into Q4 now. Again, stuff happening right now in this in Hong Kong as well, with crypto being more globally accepted, and equally BlackRock trying to accelerate their adoption and integration into crypto as well through tokenization, which is fantastic stuff. That's the fundamental stuff. Then we've got the Casper news here as well, which you can see from one of the core developers, Michael Sutton here. The version 0.0.1, so again, it's the very, very first draft. It's nowhere near a completed version, but the first draft of the Casper Vprog protocol specification is now available for public view. It details a protocol for achieving synchronous composability between sovereign ZK verifiable programs via metered on-site execution, effectively native smart contracts. You know, wake up here, new Yellowpaper just dropped here, as we can see, and you can obviously go onto the GitHub for yourself and look through all the documentation that's provided in here about it. And even note here does mention about the Casper Ecosystem Foundation, the KEF. Well, it basically means that there was some. Actually, Michael Sun talks about that here as well. The affiliation to the KEF is specific to the individual numbered with the corresponding index too. So there evidently was some input from a developer or someone from the KEF that was in the Yellowpaper here as well. That's how academic documents associate affiliations. So again, it's just highlighting that KEF, had some form of role to play in it, at least in the association to the Yellowpaper right here. But yeah, obviously now available, very, very cool. Of course, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's very, very technical. Thankfully, Casper Daily has given a bit of a rundown about that as well, which is fantastic stuff. So this is native smart contracts coming to Casper here. The first draft of the Vprogs Yellowpaper has been released. The document outlines the new protocol designed to push the boundaries of what decentralized applications can achieve on the Casper network. The goal is simple but ambitious: make applications more scalable, verifiable, and composable, while keeping the layer 1 for Casper fast and lightweight. So the Vprog stands for Verifiable Program. These are applications that can run computations off-chain but still prove their correctness using ZK proofs. This approach means apps don't need to clog up the base layer with heavy computation. Instead, they can run their own logic independently while still being tied to the Casper's secure, high throughput network. Again, just talking about the ZK opcodes and how they are basically native smart contracts. Each Vprog is like a self-sovereign mini blockchain. Look at it like your own little island in that regard. These Vprogs are like every single one building on it will be your own individual island in a massive ocean. But they all are interconnected by trade routes, if that is easier to understand, therefore. It controls its own account and rules. It can read data from other Vprogs, but only write to its own state. It periodically commits proof of its state back to the Casper Layer 1. And why does it matter? Well, one of the hardest problems in blockchain design is combining sovereignty, which is apps running independently, with portability, which is apps being able to talk to each other without any friction. The Vprogs is a solution to that and aims to solve this by introducing a clever system of commitments, proof stitching, and a computation DAG, which is, a graph of dependencies that ensures order and consistency. So in short, these Vprogs, why they matter is because the apps will remain independent, which is important for sovereignty, but also they can still interact automatically and securely without overwhelming the base chain. Therefore, it will stop any congestions or any situations where the platform will crash or go down, or any downtime you see with like the likes of Solana's chain or Ethereum's chain, when the network goes down because they're being overloaded. That's effectively what this is here. So the key features from the proposal improve the proof stitching. So different proofs for multiple apps can be stitched together into one verifiable commitment on the layer 1. This ensures cross-app transactions are valid without overloading the network. Conditional proof batches. So transactions can be grouped together and proven in bulk, improving efficiency. So you haven't got to go through each individual Vprog. It's, group it all together and do it in kind of a bulk go, which is a lot easier. Computing DAG, so the dynamic graph tracks dependencies between transactions across apps. It ensures data availability and prevents any single app from being overloaded. Resource metering, so each Vprog has its own gas model called layer 2 gas. Casper's layer 1 also meters scope gas to limit the cost of cross-program dependencies. This keeps the system balanced and resistant to spam or overloading. And also then economic model for provers. Independent provers, so entities running computations and generating proofs, will be compensated. Provers can cooperate for efficiencies, but also operate independently if needed, ensuring liveness. So it gives Vprogs basically give the builder, the individual, the freedom that you should have in general life when you want to move money, or just anything in that regard. True self-sovereignty is something you can only realistically get if you are holding a cold storage and you're holding crypto in that right now. There's not really any case in the world right now where you can have true self-sovereignty. At least not with your money. Banks, if you've got your money in a bank, you're not sovereignty to that, because they have that. If you had 100k in a bank and you want to take that 100k completely out, chances are the bank will let you do that, because they haven't got the money sitting in the vault there for you to do that. They're using it elsewhere. So this here, these Vprogs are basically a way of giving you true self-sovereignty, but also having the speed and independency, but also the ability still to talk to other people as well, which is a very, very big deal. So why is it important for Casper here? Layer 1 is known for speed and scalability due to its block-like architecture, but as more applications merge, raw throughput isn't enough. Portability and scalability at the applications layer become critical. Casper right now is really, really early. When you look at the transaction taking place right now on the layer 1, you look at right now, there's currently 542,000 addresses. You can see transactions going back and forth. This Bybit wallet, or this wallet 2 here, for example, that just sent wallet transactions back and forth here. Look at the last big one we saw. There's 2 million in. It took 0.86 seconds, 0.000616 Casper, for a total amount of 2.7 million Casper cent. That's possible right now because Casper's not widely used. But once Casper gets more adoption and more formal use case, that'll become a lot harder for it to stay that cheap and for it to happen that quick. It's going to be a problem. That's why compatibility and scalability at the application layer is critical, and Vprogs will help that do it. Help that happen. The Vprog framework positions Casper as not just a fast base layer, but as a verifiable execution environment capable of supporting complex ecosystem of apps without losing performance. And we have to remember, this is version 0.0.1. It is a very, very, very early stage. I think even Microsoft says it here as well at one point. Yeah. Where is it? He said, yeah, look. This, I said, sorry, so do we have an ETA on when it'll be released? This one is tough to give an ETA on, estimated time, but I'll say that some people already got their hands dirty with the beautiful code. So they haven't got an idea exactly on when it's going to be released, but they're already getting their hands on this very early, dirty stage, but beautiful code. So we can see here, this Yellowpaper is labeled draft version 0.0.1, meaning it is still in the research and design phase. Many details like account creation, pruning rules, and publication towards publication protocols for Vprog code are left for future revisions. Still, the direction is clear. Casper is working to marry zero-knowledge technology with a unique Layer 1 design to deliver a system that is both sovereign and composable, a balance that many blockchain projects have struggled to achieve. I don't think actually there's any project in this space that has been able to achieve scalability and decentralization in a capacity that Casper's trying to achieve it right now. And once this happens, because it will happen in the future, there is zero doubt in my mind, as it's going to be open source, that other protocols will adopt this code for Casper and effectively run the same way. Again, I want to remind those about this quote from Chris Kang, which I'll bring up time and time again, but I think it's such a important saying of his. Existing layer 2 solutions, look at your Arbitrums, your Base, your BNBs. Existing layer 2 solutions might not want to give up their centralized secrets of schemes they're currently using right now because they're already generating income ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a month. However, once Casper can able to achieve this, which again, we don't have an ETL for it, but some devs have already got their hand on the code. We're hoping, therefore, we'll see some form of ETA going into 2026. We've currently got 3 months till 2026. Hopefully see an ETA for that around that point, we could hope. Once Casper can achieve true sovereignty, decentralization, while still being scalable, while other layer 2 solutions won't want to give that up, inevitably they're going to have to, otherwise they will become obsolete. Ordinary users won't care about this. They won't care. But soon they'll come to care. And again, when you think about it as an entity, or as a BlackRock institution, for example, why would you want to choose something like SUI, for example, while decent chain is quick and it's cheap? Why would you choose SUI when you always run the risk of the SUI team deciding to just run away with all the money, when you can choose Casper, which would be cheaper and faster, and also there's no risk of, the Casper team running away because they don't control the project. It's decentralized. So you have a project in Casper that is cheaper and faster, and it's a sovereign project, and it's trying to aim to become even more sovereign, or not even more sovereign, but aim to build true sovereignty with Vprogs, with native smart contracts, with Dagnut coming out as well. As an institution, your worry is about your money, and that comes in many forms. It comes on your protection of your money, so who you're trusting to hold the money for you, or you holding it yourself, but also then how much it costs and how quick it is. It makes logical sense from an institutional side of thing that if you are BlackRock or JP Morgan, in the future to be, you want to choose a platform that will send stuff really, really quickly, so you get your money very quickly and for very cheap, while also having still ownership of it. There's nothing in this space that allows you to have true ownership of it unless you are the centralized entity controlling the protocol. That's why you're seeing JP Morgan, every other bank or whatever, World Liberty building their own blockchain. JP Morgan have their Onyx. You have BlackRock with their Biddle. You have these other big entities all building their other protocols, their blockchains, because they want to have true sovereignty and ownership of their own assets. But Casper will let you have that in a decentralized manner as well. That's why I have a long-term vision for Casper. That's why I hold Casper. And I think you're seeing these developments taking shape now. These will be the tailwinds and catalysts needed for Casper to start getting the momentum in the rest of the cycle as well, especially with big listings like, Whitebit, and you'll see potentially Crypto.com and HTX coming on board, and you'll see Binance coming on board, OKX, all that stuff coming out. Again, it's just a matter of time. This is fantastic stuff, and we're seeing more developments coming out of Casper as well. Casper and Ledger live news, so they passed the pre-review test and the functional review, which is the testing for the double L desktop app. Test are green, workflows and gives are green. So the first and second part of Ledger live integration has merged. Casper functions are officially in the Ledger source code. So Casper, with it be through KYC, whatever it may be, Casper is soon going to be completely integrated with Ledger as well, which is fantastic stuff. So we're seeing, and we've got a lot more updates to get through. Equally, I'll be summarizing some of the stuff from this interview here between Casper and Ankit as well in a moment. Before I do, though, again, let me get some questions real quickly because it has been a bit of time now. Where am I at right now? The questions, I'm up here.
Zebek, Ondu have same connections, investments from BlackRock, so will be successful. I mean, that could be the sentiment, yes. But again, what's to say that BlackRock in the future won't just take it all out? While BlackRock are seemingly getting into Zebek and Ondu and whatnot, which is great for those projects and therefore will likely do well, what's to say that BlackRock decide one day, oh, you know what, we found something better now, let's take it all out of Zebek, take it all out of Ondu. There's no guarantee. That's the problem of trusting centralized entities. Now, of course, BlackRock never loses. So following BlackRock makes sense. Something you're kind of taught to do as an investor, or you're enforced to as an investor. Follow BlackRock. But the problem is trusting centralized entities is a very dangerous game. While I myself look at what BlackRock's doing and follow BlackRock, and while I talk to my VIPs about all the alpha information we talk from these institutions and whatnot, because they're the ones running these markets, we talk about it. We talk about it so we know where the market's going to go, not because we trust them. We trust them to act in accordance with their own interest, but not because they're going to help us out. So while I do believe Zebek and Ondu will do very well this cycle, connection to BlackRock aside, either way, they'll do well, I don't trust these entities because they don't care about us. They want to make money. That's all they care about. So I just keep my wits about me and be very, very careful. Casper gives me... It lets me sleep easier at night, despite how bad the price has been in recent times, in the last year. Casper is decentralized. It is safer, in my personal belief. That's why I hold it though. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. Hope you're doing very well, my man. And come to listen to Cat Daddy and Crypto Pumps live. Hope you're all good. I appreciate very much tuning in, my man, and glad you are able to make it. And yeah, I'm doing great, my man. Peaksy, welcome back, bro. When Casper is Dag Knight with ZK smart contracts that runs Vprogs, it's literally game over. You can't get better than that. I mean, that's the idea that we have. You know, that's the idea that we have been kind of enforced by people like myself, but also by members within Casper as well. That Dag Knight makes Casper internet chaos resistant. So if the internet goes down worldwide, Casper can still function. And then merge back together when the internet comes back up. And smart contracts, ZK smart contracts, native smart contracts will be Casper true swap, giving you true compatibility and sovereignty, which is something that nothing else in this space has. So yes, I do believe that Casper will have so much more. But those sort of developments, ZK and Dag Knight, won't be coming out 2026. That there may for mean that in 2026, when the cycle at that point will likely start going through a correction phase. When in 2026, we don't know yet, but when it goes through correction phase, you might see Casper therefore do a similar sort of pump as it did back here. Because then people were like, okay, Casper's now got is Dag Knight and Vprogs out, plus KRI building as well and everything else in the bear market, it might start doing this sort of stuff again. And I also say that because I have been seeing from institutional documents that I come to my VIPs, the level of adoption they anticipate with crypto going into 2027 anyways. So if you're seeing big developments happen for Casper during that period of time, you might see, like typically you see, if you look at Bitcoin, you see the peak happening, as it did back here, and then you saw it come down for about a year, and then start making that gradual recovery after a year of going down. You could very well see the very, very same thing. If not, maybe even a bit shorter. Maybe it'll be 6 months this time round. Again, we have to keep our wits about us. Right now, I am honestly being very, very cautious of how the markets are behaving. And I am constantly revising my trading strategies because we are going through a wealth transfer, a complete restructuring of the financial system, with crypto being at the forefront of it. And with that in mind, therefore, we are going to be seeing a massive maturing nature of this market with regulatory frameworks coming out. We may not see the typical 4-year cycle. We may see it extend and then the correction happening, but it may be a very, very short correction. Maybe. Then going into continuous momentum going up with everything becoming tokenized, everything coming on chain. Just something to keep in mind about. Casper is endgame 100%. That's what I believe as well. Cubic listed on OKX before Casper. I mean, I have only just heard about that now from you. I'm not surprised Cubic is not getting a listing if you are going to pay for a listing. I mean, again, I don't know if people did pay for a listing, but assuming they did to some capacity, is not getting listings on big exchanges is not hard, but that's because every project pays for it. Casper's pretty much the only project in this space that doesn't pay for listings. It paid from XC, and I think KuCoin back in the day, or wanted to pay for KuCoin, but Casper doesn't pay for listings. That's why it's so hard for it to get listings. Do you know about OpenVPP? No. Company QC just said SUI is a decent project. Next you'll be saying Terra Luna was... No, I say Terra Luna was terrible. Look, I've said my piece on it. I know you're joking, Mr. Moss, but I said my piece on it. Terra Luna centralized, infinite supply. Terrible. Hate that project. That's why it collapsed. SUI has rose to the rankings very, very quickly this cycle. It's preceded the Solana 2.0. It's done well. I think it'll do well this cycle still. But I do hold similar concerns to any centralized project that I do to Luna and Mantra and those lot. Because they are, by and large, because they are proof of stakes and they are controlled by the insiders, they are infinite supplies. They don't say infinite supplies like Luna did or like Ethereum does. But because they are controlled by a small number of people who have a majority of the holdings, they can just print more tokens whenever they want. So they are centralized projects, and therefore they're infinite supply. Casper and Bitcoin, proof of work, they are not infinite. Therefore, they are finite, and therefore they are deflationary assets as well. That's also why Bitcoin's continued to rise with the rankings over the years, because there's only so much in supply. Once it's all mined, there's nothing else for it. Once all Casper's mined, well, there's nothing else for it except you can then mine Casper and get rewards through the transactions happening on the platform, on the protocol. These other assets, if all XRP was, released and they had no more left, they could just print more because they have enough people in the insider to do that. That's the risk to XRP. And that therefore loses value for it as well. You've got to trust that these insiders, these CEOs and whatnot, they won't make more tokens. And that's a big thing to trust because human greed's a real thing. That's why every single financial system has collapsed and failed, because human greed always trumps. Is a crypto as a stable Sion channel? Yeah, something like that. How will Casper avoid the fate of like Betamax versus VHS? Consumers rarely choose the better tech. Good question. I think the community for Casper is strong enough to where it would survive either way, is my personal belief. And the fact that Bitcoin Max is now starting to look at Casper as well, more and more, bit by bit, I think also is going to be a reason why Casper will do well. And the big developments coming out. Casper looks like Casper as a price action looks like a slowly failing project, but the fact of the matter is Casper's continuing to build, and you're seeing the adoption coming slowly but surely, it's just not reflecting in the price. That's just kind of how I stand on it. I think we have to bet on real world assets now. We laugh and can't decide which one to pick, but for sure there will be a real world asset run. 100%. I mean, I've mentioned that to my VIPs as well, actually, already. That some documents we've covered are talking about how real world assets are going to be a very big thing. Stuff like Ondu, XRP, Algorand, HBAR, those sort of assets are perceived as real world assets. They're perceived as that. So you pick on what you want to pick on. End of the day. Did you see the post about change now with Guess Casper, Toncoin, BNB, and 2? No, I did not see that. No, maybe it was in the Discord server. And I just missed it today, but I didn't see that. Fools just want to make quick money off scam rug pull Ponzi's, which are proof of stakes and no patience for Casper. I mean, that is a fair point to make, and I mean, yeah, I'm also part of that because I do hold the other projects as well to make those quick monies, but I also know that I'm taking a risk with it. Like when Hyperliquid first came out, I knew about Hyperliquid really, really early on, actually, because I was part of a community that was speaking about it. I actually didn't get into it, and that's partly, my mistake, I guess, because Hyperliquid, I knew about it way down here. Even lower than that, maybe. And look at it right now, it's flying. But I knew the risk behind Hyperliquid, and I didn't want to get involved. Now, that's a mistake on my behalf. But, it's just certain risks at the time. I mean, I didn't want to take that risk at the time. Especially around Liberation Day, that was a very, very dangerous time for all investors, truth be told. People were very worried about it at that time. 8.5 cents for Casper. I mean, he's getting close to there right now, which is very, very good. we're ahead of BlackRock. Oh yeah, we're ahead of all institutions, 100%. Welcome back, Crypto Ghosty Bro, you did very, very well. And you Double D, my man. Welcome back, please. Please respect the hours of research QC puts in every day for our benefit and blocks the trolls. Casper is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Don't let burger flippers distract you. I mean, I appreciate it very, very much. I mean, I do research. I will say that much. I don't block trolls. I let people express their beliefs in whatever fashion they want to, but if it ends up becoming disrespectful or too much, then I will have to take some immediate action. But I have very rarely had to take any action to ban people. I think there's only been 2 instances I have done in over a year of doing this now. And it's because I want to give everyone their own voice to speak. But there's a level of respect you've got to, because everyone's human at the end of the day. Level of respect you've got to give people. You've got to speak to people how you want to be spoken to. If you want to, throw your mouth off and start swearing at them, I don't want to be sweared at. I don't want to be told that I'm a scam artist or anything like that, because I don't believe I am. So I don't speak like, I don't ever say that to anybody else, oh yeah, you're investing in a scam. I never say this project's a scam. And you very really rarely hear me say that unless it's been proven as such. I just say be very careful and do your own research. Casper for me, yes, is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. It's just about having patience, something that is very hard to muster and have. But again, if it was easy to make money, we'd all be billionaires. It's just how it is. Casper can actually pay for listing, but they won't do it. I mean, I guess it can, but it's like you're then got to kind of get the community to come together to then say, let's pay for a Binance listing. And right now, no one wants to do that. When XRP and SUI and central projects ask tier 1 nevertheless Casper, I mean, you could potentially think they could do, but it's up to them if they agree that. I mean, there's never a possibility. There's always a possibility they could do, but we never really know, I guess. Wow, got a lot more questions still, quickly. I know a lot of people who know Casper is good project with smart contracts, but they don't want to because the project is... I mean, yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a weird one because the project right now is so bad that you'd argue now is the good time to get in before it starts rallying. But a lot of investors are just, within complete reason, are just unsure about investing in general. Again, for me, I know about Casper, way down here. But I looked at it here when it was around its 5 cents, and then it came down, and I still wasn't sure. It wasn't until it returned to 5 cents, I was like, oh, okay. It's been doing a very nice run. When 5 cents came down and returned back to 5 cents, I was like, hey, maybe I need to now take this seriously. I could put a little bit in then. So even then, I was still hesitant back here, and then of course it rocketed up, and then I've been DCing continuously, and my average right now is high. I am down on Casper, but I've been continuously DCing into it because I believe in the project now. But you've got to be very worried about the price. It's just natural what you do. But again, if Casper does make that move up, they'll come back and then they'll make their money and they'll probably leave. Just how the cycle goes. With the volume that Casper will bring in the future, they will be listing it. I mean, that's also possible as well, yeah. When smart contracts? Good question, Kenny. Well, let's get into the next section of the announcement today now. They've got some more stuff here I'll get into in a moment regarding IGRA. Before I do that, let's get into some Casplex news. So we know some big things are coming. Listings coming through now, which is really, really cool. And we did see again, briefly, that Johnny is now, for the 3rd time now, meeting with Tether. So again, stablecoins are going to be coming to Casper very, very soon, which is fantastic stuff. And actually, we've got this here, IGRA Labs, posting this or making this here on Block Scout. Simple stablecoin. So it looks like a new stablecoin of sorts is coming out very soon as well, with IGRA being the one leading that as well, which is really, really cool stuff. So stablecoins coming to Casper. Can't say no to that. Can't say no to that at all. And then we got them this interview here, courtesy of XXIM and Kit podcast with Casper Door from Casplex, discussing upcoming layer 2 plus community questions here. I have not managed to get through all of this just yet. I only got through the half of this podcast before I started streaming today, but I can get some answers based on what's discussed already here. I already got to about this point here. So for what I've put in notes down so far, Capital reaffirms that there are 0 technical issues with this Casplex layer 2, 0 at all, but they need more time for testing. Now, I don't exactly know how or what exactly that means, but he's reassuring Capital that there are no issues at all with the layer 2, the Casplex layer 2, the smart contract. They just wanted more time for testing. They are going to release it. And in fact, there have been some developers from the Casplex team that want to release it earlier,
And then Capital also mentioned about the 30th of August, but then there's some members who also, again, within the Casplex team are like, we need to just hold off a little bit more so and just test it a little bit more just to be completely and utterly sure. He also mentions that apparently the Casplex team is not just the 2 to 3 devs that we know of, like Chris Kang and others like that, for example. There's actually 15 of them at least. We just don't know all the names of them. And then regards to the date of Casplex, Capital mentions here that there have been dates shared to people in the community for Casplex as well by the developers who are working on it. But they are tentative dates. Now the dates, he didn't say exactly what the dates were. So I'm guessing it correlates to our belief of maybe the 13th of September or maybe at the FOMC meeting on 17th or whenever that may be. But Capital says they're tentative dates, but it should be 100% in September. So we should be expecting at some point this month we'll see smart contracts, Casplex smart contracts coming out. But again, remember that word tentative just basically means that can change at any point if they decide it to happen. And I prefer that they are, I don't think vague is the right word, but prefer that they are giving a rough timeline as opposed to definitive confirmation of when the smart contracts are coming out. Because there are 3 groups of people right now. Those who just want the smart contracts to come out and don't really care. Those who want a good smart contract to come out, so if things will actually do really, really well, and therefore they're asking tough questions to make sure it's really, really good. And those who are doing the same thing but doing it with bad intentions to make Casplex look bad, which I guess is more so a dig at Shy for that one, Capital saying that. I'm personally on the middle part where I want these smart contracts for Casplex to come out and be good. I want it to be good. Like, I want everything to be really, really smooth. In regards to that, we have a few other updates as mentioned here that I have taken, I have jotted down, but I haven't had time to go through the whole thing, so I'll do that at a later date. But the other stuff is talking about, apparently Capital claims that the Casplex team, they claim to always answer questions to those who reach out for help, like for those who are trying to build on their infrastructure. So he references Casper.com here, who apparently Casper.com claim they were rushed to build a bridge for KRC20 to ERC20. But Capital basically just saying here that apparently, therefore, they didn't reach out to the Casplex team, because they did, we would have reached out and helped them out. So again, I don't know the whole story here. I haven't heard Casper.com, what they said from it. I haven't really heard much from it either. So apparently Casplex do offer help, but I'm not a builder, so I wouldn't know myself. I'm sure Casper.com will share their own thoughts on that if they decide to. And in that regard, is actually Casplex Capital highlights here that they decided purposefully not to be responsible for bridging KRC20 to ERC20, because, at least in their eyes, their words, they didn't want. They wanted to avoid the potential FUD around being perceived as becoming centralized and basically taking control and becoming this single controlling entity. Putting down Igro as well. If they release Casplex mainnet and also the bridging mechanism for KRC to ERC20, they're claiming there'd be more, FUD and worries about them being a centralized entity trying to take control of Casper, which is why they basically kind of left that up for the community and other builders to fix that for themselves. Which I think is a fair enough point, as long as they provide help in order to how to do that, which, again, I'm not too sure how much they have or haven't done in that regard. And then he also mentioned that in the future, regarding to building to other chains, be it the BNB chain, Ethereum chain, a base chain, Igra's chain in the future, that, again, the nature of bridging over to those, like bridging the ZIL token or Natro token from Casplex to other chains, will again seemingly be the job of the community builders, not them to do it. Which I don't personally have that big of an issue of, if I'm being honest. I think Casplex focusing solely on building the layer 2 is fine, and then letting the other community builders focus their expertise to building the bridge mechanism. It means you've got to trust them, therefore, of course. So again, be very careful, because there have been other entities, be it Profile, be it Change Finance, who have been building their own platforms and then taking advantage of you from that. So be very careful in that regard. I choose to trust Casper.com, so I'll probably be checking out their bridging mechanism when they are officially up and running with the layer 2 smart contracts coming out. That's probably what I have jotted down from the interview here of Ankit so far. I've got about 28 minutes in or so. So yeah, in a short summary, There's nothing wrong with the Casplex Layer 2 smart contract apparently, and they are seemingly ready to go live whenever they want to. They believe it will happen sometime this month in September. And they're letting the bridging of stuff and other elements be for the community to kind of focus on and build for themselves, as opposed to them doing all the work. They do go through a lot more stuff here, as you can see, talking about the community transparency, interesting concerns, and other community questions as well that, again, I'll get to at a later date, because I haven't gone through the whole interview and podcast just yet. But that is at least some FUD deterrent, which is good, because Casplex have a lot of heat right now after what's been happening recently. We can hope that actually goes well. And then we've got stuff from IGRA as well, where we're seeing now that the IGRA ecosystem is growing fast, from wallets and dexes to leading protocols and explorers. Proud to see QX among such strong projects. So we can see QX here as well. You got Zelcore there, Cascade, Zealous, Casper.com, DagScan, QX. DagScan is a very, very big one there. Well, the new one is a DagScan. You know, it just got bigger now. So IGRA is now testnet, it's now live on DagScan, which is really, really cool. So again, Casplex is starting to expand, which is, again, we want to see this more and more, and we already covered this here, the stablecoin stuff as well, happening right now. Looks like IGRA Labs are addressing or attempting to build a simple stablecoin. So I think that's going to be another mechanism, another way for you to have stablecoins on IGRA, on Casper as well, alongside USDC and USDT seemingly coming to Casplex KF in the future as well. So things are looking good right now, building galore for Casper. Some addressing of the smart contract for Casplex right now, and equally then the Vprogs, which is game changing, that'll be coming out probably next year. We're nowhere near, it's still design stage, still research phase, but still Vprogs now being actively pursued a lot more now. It's fantastic stuff, seeing actually some work about it, really, really cool stuff. So again, Casper, early project, but has all to play for. And again, Casper right now, looks like the sentiment of the community is getting a bit bullish today, currently up 2.67%. and now about 8.5 cents. For me, it looks like Casper's starting to go through a bit of an uptrend, but it does depend on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, still very much so. I'm hoping that Casper will continue and probably start trading in here for the next few days, and then break above 9 cents off the back of the FOMC meeting, if we do get reassuring news from Jerome Powell. And then we might see the Casplex mainnet come out, and if it is, smooth and effective, with USDC also launching on the Casplex mainnet, you'll see Casper make the hopefully the move to 10 cents and above after that as well. But again, not financial advice, do your own research. We'll have to wait and see how everything plans out in the not too distant future. They always choose the better tech at the end of the day. HD, DVD versus Blu-ray. Exactly. The way to look at it is the sentiment about best tech doesn't always win is not completely true, because it depends on the tech, right? If the tech actually solves real issues that people are having, then it will win. It'll be recognized and it'll be used. Good tech doesn't always win. Great tech that solves issues does. And Casper is the only project in this space that is decentralized and scalable and a proof of work. So it's something that, it's currently solving the blockchain dilemma and allowing one to have true sovereignty of the assets, which nothing else in this space has, because centralized entities control the ecosystem. That's a real problem. And that's why I think Casper will be adopted when the time's right. Welcome back, Caller Bro. You're doing very, very well. Do not stop progress. Exactly. VHS beat Betamax for a very simple reason, adult films. So I think we need adult films with Casper. I thought you were being serious there again, Mr. Miles. I don't know why I always think you're being so serious with your comments, and then the next thing I hear is just some stupid stuff like that. Fair enough. And yes, Kudogosu is right, as always. If you enjoy the content, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Stay tuned in, turning on that post notification bell for the channel as well. I still don't understand the hype for Hyperliquid. It's slower than Casper. Everyone likes it because it's fast. Everyone likes Hyperliquid because its price has gone up, and it being fast is a additive reason to push why it's so good. The simple reason why everyone likes Hyperliquid, and similarly why everyone likes any project in the space, is because the price has done well. Hyperliquid, since the Liberation Day, has done over a 5x. It's done fantastic since Liberation Day. 5.5x. Done insane. The fact that it's fast is another reason that's being pushed as to why it's so great. But there are other projects. If it was purely about we want to go for the fastest project, then Casper would be winning already, because Casper is right now the fastest project in this space. It's not even really that close. After Casper, I think it's SEI and Hyperliquid. I think those two are the next ones following Casper. But Casper's still faster than them. Casper's the fastest one in this space. But evidently that's not what matters. It's price. Hyperliquid has a very, very attractive price. Has done very, very well. It's fast, giving it another reason to why you should be holding it. But again, once Casper ends up having that price rally, which I think it will do in this cycle and years to follow as well, the fact that it's fast will be also the other driving reason why you should get into Casper as well. And then being decentralized as well and scalable. I smash like Hulk goes, it actually should. We don't say when Lambda now, we say Crypto retired of doing live every day. Yeah. When will Crypto retire? I mean, that's a great question. I don't know when I will retire doing live streams every single day. And if there was a time where I stopped doing live streams every single day, it'd probably go down to like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Worst case, it'd be once a week. I still don't see a timeline where I don't stream relatively consistently for everybody here. Especially right now with the markets doing, better now, seemingly starting to go through this reversal. And with, me and what I have in my career, in my life, I enjoy doing this stuff right now, so I think I'm going to be here for a while. We need to push creators to talk about Casper more. I pushed blockchain basement into Casper quite a bit, or screen time today. Oh, that's fantastic stuff. Cryptony, thank you very much for that. And yeah, we should, as a community, it's our duty to, educate other people, to put it that way. Educate other people about Casper, about crypto. Try not to be, again, rude or disrespectful, but again, just preach your beliefs. Or you don't even need to, go full FOMO saying Casper's the best thing ever. It could be as simple as just they say something like, oh, I like Hyperliquid, it's such a fast project. And you're like, oh, really? Have you heard of Casper therefore? And they're like, no, what's Casper? And you just show them Casper, show them the speed, and like, oh, wow, it's faster. Okay, look at Casper therefore. It's trying to find, and that's why a lot of Bitcoin maxis right now are starting to come into Casper, because Bitcoin maxis are preaching what they love Bitcoin, and then the response to them is, oh, you like it for that reason. Have you heard of Casper therefore? Because it does the exact same thing, but a little bit better. And when those who are actually not cult members and actually listen to the logic behind that, like, okay, I'll have a look at Casper. That's why people have been coming over to Casper. You don't what's the word I'm looking for? No, not I can't think of the word right now. It's the word when, like, I'll come back to me maybe at some point. You don't want to just shove it in their face, right? You don't want to just shove Casper in their face, because they'll get sick of it and they end up hating you for it. Of course, it already happens. It will happen regardless, but you don't want to do it that way. What you should ideally be doing is you listen to the content creator or the person in question, find out why they like something, and then you correlate what they like to why they should get into Casper in that regard as well, because you're using their own logic. I mean, it's quite probably quite my English has gone terrible today. I'm forgetting all the big words. Quite psychological, maybe quite narcissistic as well. But the best way to argue with people, which is why, politicians always do very, very well, and, you have other people as well, is because they don't just throw something in your face. They listen to you and they pick on that one key part and they use that against you. That's literally how you debate with people. That's also why I tend to do quite well in talking to other people, even the fudsters. I understand where they're coming from. And I express your belief of why you're liking SUI or SEI or Tau or XRP, whatever it may be. And I just say, okay, well, you like for that reason. Have you heard of Casper therefore? It's just how you debate. It's a very simple way. It's a hard thing to master, but it's a very easy thing to do. And yes, I probably will bring Hong. That's also why I'm happy to get out of here at some point. Yeah, no, I have to get Mr. Mars to do it for me instead at that point. The price action is beautiful. It never broken that bottom support. That support line goes all the way back to the beginning. Oh yeah, it does. The support line here goes all the way back to when I first started buying Casper, actually. Casper has done very, very well. People don't like the look of this last year. They don't like this. That's what they see. They forget to see that they're seeing this. If you look at every other project in this space, most projects don't have this. It's still up from launch. Most projects aren't up from launch, especially up 40,000% from launch. But all they're seeing is that, and they're saying, "Oh, that's terrible. It's really, really down. It's really, really bad." I can literally pick out Algorand, for example. I have nothing against Algorand, by the way, but look at Algorand from its launch. Look at, SUI's done okay, to be fair. Now it has done okay. So SUI's actually, even SUI's done okay. Look at Say, for example. It's up a little bit from its launch, but that's its chart. Comparatively, Casper's ones look more attractive, in my belief. Look at, I think HBar's actually done okay. Yeah, even HBar from its launch is still down. It's according to its launch from Bybit. So yeah, again, it's about perspective at the end of the day. So when Cas PlayStation, who knows? My average is somewhere between 1 and 2 cents. A big up to you, Mr. Martha, man. Say Sonic, East, Sol, Ton, Near, all infinite supplies. I mean, yeah. Yeah, 100%. All infinite supplies. And even then, other projects like XRP who say they have got a capped at 100 billion, again, they've got a centralized team behind them, Ripple. They can print more whenever they want to, if they decide they wanted to. They say they won't, but do you trust them, is the question. The same way do you trust the banks to not print more money, which effectively ruins the value of the dollar? Do you trust XRP's CEOs and founders to not print more tokens when they need a little bit more capital? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. That's why crypto was originally created in Bitcoin. Because greed is such a prevalent thing. And if people want more money, they could just print it out of thin air. You can't do that with Bitcoin. You cannot do that with Casper. Fair enough. Fair enough. SUI collapsed many times. I think it is worse than Solana. The insiders and VCs will dub it massively. Probably. I think SUI will do well this cycle, but I also have... I got in at 1.8. I've gone down here at 1.8, and I've already taken quite a bit of my profits out already. I still hold a little bit, but I'm probably going to take it all out, later on the cycle when it rallies again, and put it into Casper. If Binance say we will list Casper only if QC shows the face of all, you do it? Yeah. Probably. Never heard of that at all. Never heard of it. I think it's a new meme that's just launched on another platform or whatnot. I mean, yeah, it's been out for about almost a year. I mean, yeah, it's a meme, innit? So who knows? Who knows how well it will do? On Kraken, apparently, it's good for it. What I did 1 week ago, I saw another development of Casper, and I already have some memes. I mean, good for you, OD. Hopefully it pans out well. While the majority of sleeping exchanges are packing their bags with cheap Casper. Exactly. Yeah, I think right now Casper is rich. I think I would argue Casper right now is a sleeping giant. Selling pretty much everything you have for Casper and only having some memes, it's not a bad shout right now. Casper has had this repeated support here and one a bit higher here, and you could argue now that's what you saw here as well. So Casper right now, again, provided we get no shock event, which always can happen, if everything goes according to plan, FOMC meeting coming out, Casper releasing their smart contracts and stablecoins and whatnot, Casper is going to be hopefully going through an uptrend very soon, with big exchanges coming out very soon as well. Yeah. Maybe, who knows? Too much drama among these Casper factions, need to get on the same page. True. Not a bad prediction, honestly, OD. We'll have to see if we go for that or not. Imagine you are at the end of the bull run and you want to cash out 200k on Casper. You would prefer to swap it to a stablecoin on Tangem or just sell it to an exchange for cash. I just hold stablecoins right now, personally. And I say that because crypto is becoming a widely accepted thing, and also you're seeing stablecoin bills being passed, like the Genius Act. The premise, what we're seeing right now, is a fundamental shift,
again, if you need the money, like, again, it's not financial advice. I have to say it's not financial advice. What I'm doing, if I need money, then I will take some out. Of course, knowing I have to pay taxes on that, but I have to take it out. But knowing that the world is shifting towards stablecoin adoption, worldwide, everything's going to stablecoins, everything's going to crypto, I would feel more confident of holding, taking my profits and holding stablecoins and then eventually reallocating that back in. I'm maybe getting involved in some liquidity pools and whatnot and yielding with my stablecoins so I can actually make money on that as well. Stuff that I'm trying to teach or going to be teaching in a lot more detail to my VIPs very soon, because I've been looking into that, and it's something that is going to be a big part. It's already a big part of the world as it is. It'll be a bigger part of crypto as well. Those features will come onto Casper in the future as well, I'm sure. That's how I perceive. That's how I'm going to, behave and how I'm going to act. Crypto is more than just a get-rich-quick scheme now. It's a monetary movement. It's a refinancing of the whole world's wealth is coming to crypto. So I would hold stablecoins personally. That's my plan is to do that, and the whole majority of stablecoins. Not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. And I DCA back in. And again, I can do that because also the money that I've invested into crypto, as should be a general thing if you are an investor, I don't invest money that I need. I don't sell my house or my stuff like that and buy into crypto. I work my 9 to 5s, I get my paycheck, and any excess capital that I don't need, I'll put into Casper or to whatever crypto I want to hold into. It's just what I do. It's what I do. Again, it's not financial advice. For legal reasons, I have to say it's not financial advice. I can't do that. I don't know if I want to pay fees on tangent or risk frozen funds on centralization. I would say the former. The risk of frozen funds on sexes is so much higher than paying higher fees on tangent, in my belief. It's a good question. It's a very good question. But yeah, when we see this inevitable crypto culling, people are going to just take everything out. There are going to be a lot of sexes that are just going to freeze your accounts. Coinbase already do that stuff. They flag your account if you want to take over 2K. Ridiculous. Other exchanges do a similar thing. So I would prefer to have true sovereignty of my assets and hold it. Would anyone go back to a rotary phone for a smartphone? Tech always wins. Yeah, also very good analysis there. Tangent too expensive, sell or swap? For me, I use Quantum Kraken and I do it by fraction. Tangent is very expensive. I don't disagree. If you can find a way to just have true security and sovereignty over it, I would personally avoid exchanges, holding it on exchanges. Tangent is a better option, but it is expensive. So it's whether you want to. I guess it's the price to pay for true sovereignty of your assets. Maybe there'll be a better solution that comes out in the future. Again, we don't know. Casper 463 page on the XRP Army. Yeah, the XRP Army stuff is really funny. I can't lie. What was it? Is it 589 or whatever that secret number is? Welcome back, Gag. We're doing very, very well. HBAR dropped 9% and stayed like that for years, like everything else. Yeah, true. HBAR centralized crap. HBAR's got some seemingly good partnerships, but I do agree it's centralized. And therefore, yeah. ICP, yeah, ICP, that one I wholeheartedly don't like. That's the only asset I think I've been very, very vocal on just not liking. Yeah, I do think it is one of the worst. But that being said, though, family, yeah, I said that just purposely so I piss you off, Mr. Boss, I can't lie. That being said, though, it may not be you do as you will as your own investor, Thanks for the info. So you assure stablecoins would not crash. There will be some stablecoins that probably go through a rough patch, There are concerns about Tether due to its lack of 100% backing by US dollars and whatnot. Circle's perceived the most safe one. It's a risk. End of the day, it's a big, big risk. Because, everything you've got to do is a risk. There's taking it out. Obviously, you have to pay the exchange fee and whatnot. Taking it out and holding the actual company is fine. But what if your bank then freezes you and stops you being able to get into crypto later on?
There's not really any surefire answer. That's the problem, Ben. It's a tough one to think about. I do think it's going to be a crypto culling. Stablecoins are also going to go down because right now you're going to see hundreds of stablecoins created off the back of the regulations coming through. Finding that right stablecoin that's going to be trustworthy and utilized the most is going to be difficult. Maybe it's going to be a cash stablecoin. Who knows? I'll think about it a bit more, see if I can give you a better answer. But again, it's not financial advice. It's definitely better to do your own research as well and find out for yourself what you think the best course of action would be. But with that being said, though, family, if you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you enjoy the stream, as always, share the love, spread the love. If you want to know about crypto and Casper, check out the free community and equally the VIP, both on my homepage and also in the description. Have a great day, good evening, good night, family. More is coming. Casper hopefully will be in that big rise from this point forward now. So just buckle up. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good night.